There is, by my calculation, not a single thing less appealing than listening to a Hollywood actress complain to a billionaire talk show host about how hard it was to be a princess. That is the actual mathematical, perfectly least likable thing that I think anyone could possibly do. Meghan Markle sits down with her poor husband and talks to Oprah about all the dirty laundry from the royal family.
There was no guidance as well, right? Mm-hmm. There were certain things that you couldn't do, but unlike what you see in the movies, there's no class on how to speak, how to cross your legs, how to be royal. There's none of that training. That might exist for other members of the family. That was not something that was offered to me.
So nobody tells you anything?
No.
Nobody prepares you?
No, but even down to like the national anthem. No one thought to say, oh, you're American. You're not going to know that. That's me late at night Googling, what's the national, I've got to learn this. I don't want to embarrass them. I need to learn these 30 hymns for church. All of this is televised. We were doing the training behind the scenes because I just wanted to make them proud.
I just wanted to make them proud. And that is why I'm sitting down with you, Oprah, to say that these are the worst people on earth, because I just care and I want to make them proud. It's just, it's crazy. All I wanted to do as a divorced American actress was become a princess in another country, and they expect me to learn the national anthem? What? Is that crazy? What do they think I have? Google? What do they think, that I can look it up? That's crazy. Well, actually, shut up, Harry. Stop it. It's just ridiculous. You see, am a victim, says the princess. So President Trump, as always, summed this up a couple of years ago. He was asked about some criticism that Meghan Markle had made of him. She was not at that time attacking the government and the royalty of her adopted country. She was attacking her own government. And President Trump, I thought, had the most compassionate and precise take on Meghan Markle that one can muster.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle chimed in on the U.S. election and essentially encouraged people to vote for Joe Biden. I want to get your reaction to that.
I'm not a fan of hers. And I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
He's going to need it. That poor guy does need it. This woman comes in. The reason I mentioned, by the way, that she's divorced is she is entering into the royal family of a country with a state church. So that's actually a big problem. And rather than say, oh my gosh, thank you for making this exception. I know this is bad. I know we shouldn't be doing this here in the royal family. Instead, she complains about having to learn hymns. What, they expect me to learn the hymns? Because I'm entering into the family that runs the state church? Come on, give me a break. Poor Harry. So because she doesn't like it, because it turns out that being a royal is not just about glitz and glamour and putting a tiara on, because she found out it actually involves duty and work. Very difficult sort of chores like learning the national anthem of your country, of your new country. Because of that, she made her husband leave his family and abdicate all of his duty, all of his responsibility to the country that had been so good to him and that he was born for. She's like, no, we got to go because I want to do voiceovers in Disney cartoons or something. So they leave. Now they're in LA. They get to keep a lot of money, and poor Harry is just struggling through. Now they're attacking his family on television, and the minute he tries to interject, she tells him to keep quiet. But then she talks about real struggles. And this, I don't want to make light of this. I just want to show how perverse our thinking of this is. As Meghan Markle says, this was so tough to be a princess that I contemplated suicide. And she very well may have. People in Hollywood are unstable people, generally speaking. And maybe she just couldn't take it. Maybe she she had a completely different vision of what it meant to be a royal. Maybe she thought it was all about privilege and not at all about duty and responsibility. So she was genuinely shocked, and she just couldn't handle it.
We had to go to this event, and I remember him saying, I don't think you can go. And I said, I can't be left alone.
Because you were afraid of what you might do to yourself?
And we went, and
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And that picture, if you zoom in, what I see is how tightly his knuckles are gripped around mine. You can see the whites of our knuckles because we are smiling and doing our job, but we're both just trying to hold on. And every time that those lights went down in that royal box, I was just weeping. And he was gripping my hand, and then it was, okay, intermission's coming. It takes so much courage to admit that you need help. It takes so much courage to voice that.
So before I criticize what she has to say here, there is truth to this. It does take courage to admit when you need help. This is part of the process of recognizing our own brokenness in our human nature. Right? This is a central fact of a Christian life, is having the courage to recognize you are not perfect, that you need help, that you are a miserable sinner, and that you cannot fix your brokenness on your own. Right? It's actually a keen insight. And unfortunately, in our now secularized culture, a lot of people don't understand that, and so they're not willing to get help. And that's why there actually is some legitimacy to this idea that we need to reach out, we need to, muster the courage to recognize our own inner problems. Sure. All true. Whether or not going on Oprah Winfrey's show to whine about your husband's family that you made him essentially divorce, whether that is helpful to your inner struggle, it seems a little dubious to me. But the principle, fair enough. There's a flip side, though, to all this talk about the courage, to muster the strength, to just think about yourself all the time. The flip side of that is, it also takes courage to do your duty. It also takes courage to fulfill your responsibilities to other people, and not just yourself. When you marry into the royal family, it's not as though, on the fifth date or something, Harry sits Meghan down and says, love, the problem, love, I have something to admit to you. I'm a prince of England. What, Harry? Yes, dearie, I know you thought I was a motorcycle mechanic, but actually I'm a prince. Oh my gosh, well, we'll make it through, Harry. Well, I hope that we can survive this because I love you and I had no idea that you were a prince. Now, I think she knew from the beginning. She just was, it would seem, only focused on the glitz and the glamour and the privilege of it all. But it is a weighty, weighty responsibility. I think too many of our elites, forget Meghan Markle for a second, too many of our elites don't understand this. They think when you become prominent in, politics or the media or this, that, or the other thing, it's just all about privilege. It's just all about glitz and glamour. They don't want to recognize the duty and the responsibility and the gravity and the weight of that. If you forget about being a royal where your entire life is duty, it's why I can't get on board with the kind of conservative American hatred for the royals, or all the jokes about the royals. Well, they live in palaces, they have fancy clothing. The royals' lives are very difficult. From the moment they are born, their entire life is just about serving the country and doing whatever the country needs them to do. And it might seem kind of frivolous because it's photo ops and it's opening up different markets and things like that and welcoming foreign dignitaries. But you are born into a very specific job with a ton of media scrutiny, and you can never change it unless you abdicate like Harry, because he met this American wife. Unless you abdicate and bring shame on yourself, you just have to do that job. Most of us don't even want to do the job that we chose for our entire lives. A lot of people, they start doing a job and they're like, I kind of want to do something else. Maybe they start doing something else within the broader industry. Maybe they switch careers, right? You don't get to switch careers if you're a royal. You don't get to just do whatever you want all the time. You have to focus on that responsibility. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Michael Knowles Show. To check out the full episode, hit the link in the description or download The Michael Knowles Show wherever you listen to podcasts.